Hello, welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. 8DBOPM. Chapter 141 The Ultimate Team. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. After the Dragon Ball reshaped the world, Vermut hadn't returned to the planet Gods of Destruction. As soon as he entered the door, everyone saw Jiren lying on the ground. His joints were shattered and he had fallen into a coma. How did this happen? Who beat him like this? After training, Jirenpo's strength has improved a lot again. It's reasonable to say that they can't beat Super Omega Shenron, but if anyone can beat Jirenpo, it's really a supernatural event. Fortunately, Son Goku brought enough Sengoku to prepare for the battle with the super evil dragon. Vermut lifted him up, and Goku fed the fairy beans into Jirenpo's mouth. After a while, Jirenpo woke up faintly. Goku said, "What happened, Jiren?" Facing the sudden appearance of the 7th universe and his party, Jiren couldn't recover, and asked, "Why are you here?" Son Goku said, "It's the 12th universe. They suddenly attacked our 7th universe. Right now we are discussing how to deal with 207 and them." Speaking of the 12th universe, Jiren's broken expression immediately changed. Yes, it was them, and I was also hit by the Supreme Kai of the 12th universe. Beerus nodded and said, "It seems that the gods of destruction of the 12th universe is really strong." Wait, you seem to be talking about Supreme Kai. Advertisement. Jiren broke out. That's right, it was the chubby Supreme Kai from the 12th universe who knocked me down. I didn't see his movements clearly during the whole process, and I became like this with just one move. The most important thing, yes, he blocked my attack with only one finger. In a universe, Supreme Kai is definitely not a priesthood in charge of combat. If Shendu, the king of the world, is so powerful, let alone gods of destruction, it is simply unimaginable. Beerus yelled at Vermut, "Tell us, what the hell is going on with this 12th universe?" Vermut sat on the ground, sighed and said, "It's a long time to talk about it. Everyone knows that each universe has its own CCBD theme, right? For example, our 11th universe is a proud universe. The 3rd universe is the universe of wisdom, the 4th universe your 7th universe and the 6th universe correspond to peace and prosperity respectively." Beerus said, "Of course I know this, each universe represents a kind of virtue, but what does this have to do with the 1st and 12th universes?" Vermut said, "Do you know what the themes of the 1st universe and the 12th universe are?" Goku asked curiously, "What is it?" Their themes are ultimate and supremacy, one represents the strongest power, and the other represents the highest status. They are the earliest and most powerful universe, and they are different from ordinary existence. Among them, what Jin did the so-called scariest? Then, Vermut began to tell the story of King. This guy with a shark face is different from the general gods of destruction. Through power conquest, he has mastered all the rights of the 12th universe. It can be said that the entire 12th universe is his own subjugation, and even Supreme Kai will obey his orders unconditionally. Advertisement. Gods of Destruction Jin is not only powerful, he is also good at training warrior, and has established the most powerful army for the 12th universe, the Ultimate Team. There are a total of 12 members in the Ultimate Team, and each of them is extremely powerful, with unfathomable strength. In addition, everyone in the 12th universe pursues power, so their combat effectiveness is much stronger than other universes. In order to obtain a more powerful warrior, Jin is observing all universes anytime and anywhere. Once he finds a good seed with potential, Jin will stop at nothing to get it, and he will even start a war to destroy other universes to do so. Jiren nodded and said, "That's right, he invited me to join their universe, and I didn't agree, so I was beaten like this. But I really want to hear them say that Jin's main target is not me, but 7th universe a Saiyan called Broly." Beerus et al. Don't know who Broly is, but Son Goku and Vegeta sure do. In the early years, Broly's strength had left a deep impression on them. Hearing the name, Vegeta's face changed. "Broly. The legendary Super Saiyan." Beerus asked, "Who the hell is Broly?" Goku said, "Master Beerus, have you seen that Kale from the 6th universe?" Beerus said, "The one who turns into a muscular girl when she gets angry, and then goes crazy." Advertisement. Son Goku nodded and said, "That's right, Broly is very similar to her. But Broly should be more talented than her. He is an extremely fierce warrior. The strength of a warrior is not only energy and body, but also a strong will to fight. Even with the same constitution, Kale's cowardly character is always a big problem. This also explains why Kim chose Broly instead of Kale. In the early years, even at the same level, Son Goku and others were no match for Broly. This shows how high Broly's combat talent is. Not good, Vegeta said in surprise. If Broly really cultivated under Jin's hands and gained great power, according to his character, he will definitely come back for revenge. Broly Super Saiyan's combat power exceeded 1.2 billion in the first state, and he was able to instantly kill all Z warriors into scum. Once he truly became a god, he would simply be a great demon king who would destroy the world. And Kim actually picked Brawly, who obviously wouldn't be satisfied with just promoting him to Super Saiyan God. Having said that, everyone looked at Chi-Yu, who was yawning. Why do you look at me? Chi-Yu lazily said to Beerus. Are you my slaves or am I your thugs? Why do you always look at me every time you encounter something you can't solve? FK off, find a way for yourself. Beerus wiped the sweat off his face. He didn't dare to ask Chi-Yu again, and turned to Goku and Vegeta. So, we have to prepare in advance. Advertisement. Chapter 142 Angel Makarita. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The 12th universe is a gloomy place, with barbed wire and all kinds of weapons all over the perimeter of the buildings. It is more appropriate to say it is a giant military fortress than a city. Once here, Brawly is thrown into an arena and forced to fight various warriors. On the throne of the auditorium, Sharkface Kim is enjoying Brawly's performance with a glass of wine. Brawly, if you continue like this, you will die. The warrior in front of him was extremely powerful. Brawly was beaten to the point of blood, but he could only grit his teeth and stand up from the ground. He looked at Jin sitting on the top of the arena, and said, Why are the people who fight me so much stronger than me every time? Did you do it on purpose? Jin shook his wine glass, and said leisurely, Of course I did it on purpose, Brawly. Only a warrior who has overcome death can become a real strong man. Defeating these few is just the beginning, and then you have to face 1,000. There are more than 200 warriors who are stronger than you. If you lose one game, you will die. Brawly knew that Kim wasn't kidding, because Kim never joked when it came to this kind of thing. Brawly said, If I was killed, wouldn't it be meaningless for you to bring me here from the 7th universe? Jin laughed and said, Brawly, you seem to think highly of yourself. But I have to tell you, I have never seen 1,000 or 800 guys like you in my life. You think you can become a strong? No, more important is the determination and will to surpass yourself. If you are really killed by them, it means that you are not good, and I will not feel sorry for you. Brawly wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth, and turned his gaze back to his grinning opponent, a titan with a big belly. Although he is bloated, this guy has a terrifying speed that is not commensurate with his size. Advertisement. Immediately afterwards, Brawly rushed towards his goal. That's it, Brawly, if you want to be a member of the Ultimate Team, you have to show your strength first. Seeing Brawly's devotion, Jin Jade was satisfied. Meanwhile, Beerus et al. Of 7th universe are doing the same thing. Weiss used his power to control time and space to build an enhanced version of the time and spirit room for the 3 Beerus to train. Besides Goku and Vegeta, even Vermut was captured. Vermut looked at Chi-Yu next to him, and complained, Why do I have to come to practice? Chi-Yu said displeased, As my low-level slave, don't you feel ashamed of your strength? Vermut, you can't even beat Beerus. In fact, I want to improve your status and make you a low-level slave. Where's the chief steward? Stop complaining and do your job. In fact, at the level of Beerus and others, no one can be their teacher anymore. Whether it is the use of chi or fighting skills, everyone is basically close to the extreme, and the difference between them is nothing more than chi and body. So the training method formulated by Whis is also very simple, that is, playing. The weaker Vegeta is in a team with Vermut, and Beerus is in a team with Goku for a 2-on-2 battle. On this point, it is similar to Jin's method. Actual combat is the best way to strengthen yourself. Through continuous offensive and defensive switching, I believe everyone can move to a higher level in a short period of time. Advertisement. For things like special training, Vegeta has long been impatient. Being behind Son Goku for a long time made him extremely impatient, and as soon as Whis finished talking about the rules, he rushed up to fight Vermut. The training started soon, and Chi-Yu walked out of the time and spirit room, ready to go home and rest. Just kidding. One day in this room is equal to several months in the outside world. If you stay inside and watch a few people fight for several years, then Chi-Yu will definitely go crazy. He originally thought that he could live a leisurely life for a long time, but he didn't expect that this tranquility would be shattered the next day. In the early morning of the next day, Chi-Yu's #1 fan, Makarita, came to Earth and brought a lot of condolences. She ordered her subordinates to move a lot of things into the Bree mansion, which completely angered the hostess Ties. Move these things back quickly, you shameless woman. My family, Chi-Yu, is already married and is my husband. Asking for flowers. What does it matter? Anyway, a common person like you can only live for less than 100 years, and after 20 years, you will be an old woman. Chi-Yu will definitely abandon you and fall into my arms. Taisi said angrily. You're lying, Chi-Yu wouldn't do that. Makarita posed a seductive pose, and then said, An overbearing earth woman, our angel can live forever. A powerful warrior like Chi-Yu doesn't need a yellow-faced woman as a spouse. I feel shabby when I go out. What did you say? You blue-skinned alien. Advertisement. You mortal with a super short shelf life. Oh oh. Chi Yu was awakened by the noise of the two of them, and when he walked downstairs in his pajamas, Thais grabbed his ears. But Taisi found helplessly that no matter how hard she pulled, Chi Yu didn't seem to feel any pain at all. Of course, Chi Yu's physical body is already so strong that even Super Omega Shenron's ki blast can't hurt it. It's strange to be able to be hurt. Thais, what are you doing? Are my ears funny? Seeing Chi Yu's reaction, Taisi became even more furious, pointed at Makarita and said, "Who is this woman?" Seeing Chi Yu, Makarita immediately changed from a pungent girl to an extremely well-behaved cute girl, bowed to Chi Yu and said, "Master Chi Yu, I am the angel of the 11th universe, and I am also your #1 fan. I came to the 7th universe to see you with a condolence item." Oh, then let's put it there. But it's okay to be the #1 fan, cancel it for me. You 11th universe, including gods of destruction, are my slaves. Slave. Hearing Chi Yu's words, Taisi burst into laughter, pointed at Makarita and said, "Did you hear that? In my husband's heart, you are just a slave." At this moment, Makarita flushed with excitement, and suddenly rushed towards Chi Yu. It's really great. It turns out that Master Chi Yu still has this hobby, but it's too coincidental. I like this tune the most. Knife. Advertisement. Chapter 143. A slipper kills you. 5 more. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The days passed quickly, and before I knew it, more than a month had passed. On this day, Chi Yu quarreled with Taisi because of Makarita, so she ran away from home. In the afternoon of the same day, Brawly finally walked out of the arena. At this time, Gods of Destruction Jin was already standing at the door, and handed a black badge to Brawly. Congratulations Brawly, starting today, you have officially become the 13th warrior who passed my test. Brawly looked at the black badge in his hand and asked, "What is this?" Agudai replied in reply, "This is the badge of our Ultimate Team universe. With this, you are a member of the Ultimate Team." Brawly gave an evil grin, and dropped the badge on the ground. 777. Huh. Seeing Brawly's behavior, Jin didn't get angry immediately, but said, "Brawly, it seems that you don't seem to want to join our Ultimate Team." Brawly clenched his fist, then pointed at Jin Dao. "Jin. I have already dealt with more than 1,000 warriors you arranged, and now it's up to you." "That's right, Brawly, I really like your personality. But since you don't want to be my subordinate, then you are worthless to me." Brawly suddenly felt that something was wrong. He said, "You. What do you mean?" Advertisement. Jin said to warrior beside him, "Go, cut off his hands for me." As soon as Sharkface finished speaking, Gods of Destruction, a head-turning grotesque figure wearing a fighter vest stood up. Brawly had just set up his posture and was ready to fight. The next moment, his whole body was pushed down to the ground by the bull-headed warrior. "Jin Dao. Our 12th universe is different from other universes. We only worship the strong. You defeated Agu, so naturally you can win our respect, which is different from some waste." Chi Yu looked at the slipper that was only half left in his hand, then looked at Gods of Destruction Jin and said, "Are you his boss? Your subordinates broke my slipper, and you have to pay compensation." Agu furiously said, "You humble guy, I'm going to beat you to death now." However, Chi Yu's speed is much faster than Whis'. It took only one afternoon to cross half of the universe and appear here. Originally, Chi Yu was just wandering around, but when he saw Brawly being pushed to the ground, Chi Yu knew where he was. Originally, these guys had a grudge against the 7th universe, and Chi Yu was in a bad mood, so he planned to make use of the problem. Angel conjured up a chair for Jin, he sat down in front of Brawly, and said, "Brawly, what gave you such an illusion that you can challenge my majesty? Now I will give you another chance, are you willing to surrender to me?" Brawly wanted to resist, but the bull-headed warrior's arm carried unparalleled strength, making him unable to move at all. At this moment, the bull-headed warrior pulled out the axe on his body. Chi Yu tilted his head and said, "It's strange, you're not angry, can't you see that 3.3 shows that I'm here to make trouble today?" When the other subordinates saw Jin doing this, there was no inappropriate expression on their faces, as if all this was taken for granted. "You bastard." Advertisement. Crack. His head hit the ground, making a loud noise. Anyone who is familiar with Chi Yu knows that this guy is going to start blackmailing again. "So what's wrong with you? Supreme Kai is amazing. I just got kicked out of my house by my wife, and I'm full of will-o'-the-wisps, you'd better not mess with me. Otherwise, I'll punch you to death." Suddenly, a red mark appeared on Agu's face. After a long time, Supreme Kai Agu said, "Brawly, it is true that you are an idiot. Betrayal. With a traitor like you, what can you do? Let me tell you, the bull-headed warrior in front of you is called Sola, is ranked 12th in the Ultimate Team. You can't even beat him, and you still want to resist Mr. Jin, it's really ridiculous. Chi Yu's strength is not great, but his speed is extremely fast. With Agu's skill, he couldn't see Chi Yu's movements clearly. Following the sound, everyone saw a bald man in a Hawaiian shirt squatting on the side of the road, not knowing what he was doing. Agu looked at him and said angrily, "Who are you? How dare you speak to me like that? I am the Supreme Kai of the 12th universe." As soon as Brawley finished speaking, the audience burst out laughing, as if they heard the funniest joke in the world. Unexpectedly, Jin, who has always been known for being domineering and rude, not only did not get angry, but actually gave himself a pair of shoes. Quote, quote. Agu covered his face and said, "Who are you? Our 12th universe will not let you go." Advertisement. That's right, this is Chi Yu who ran away from home and wandered around the world. Aimed at Brawley's hands. Papa 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 papa. But instead of getting angry, Jin laughed and said, "Come here, give this warrior a pair of the best shoes in our universe." Just then, a voice sounded. Brawley raised his head and said, "Aren't you afraid that I'll betray you again?" Seeing that Agu was still the hardest, Chi Yu whipped him a dozen slippers in a row, and then one of them was too hard. Amidst the loud noise, Agu was blown into the air. His obese body was like a missile, smashing countless tall fortresses. Before Agu finished speaking, Chi Yu took off his slippers and suddenly appeared in front of Agu. Before Agu could react, Chi Yu slapped him on the face with his slippers. "I'm going to kill you." Brawley was terrified. After practicing life and death during this period of time, his strength was far beyond what he could compare in the past. But in front of the Tauren in front of him, he had no power to resist. "I said, can you keep your voice down? What kind of laughter is this? Didn't your mother tell you that your laughter is ugly? Talk about you, the fat man next to you." Because of Makurita, he quarreled with Ties for the first time, and then came to the 12th universe. In fact, he didn't even know where it was. Advertisement. Chapter 144 Gods of Destruction Jin's Ambition. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. When one's subordinates were beaten, instead of punishing them, they rewarded the enemy. Although the cultural environment of each place is different, for Chi Yu, this is indeed a rare thing. Chi Yu said, "If I beat you too, will you still be as proud as you are now?" Jin Dao. "If you can really defeat me, then you will be the new master of the 12th universe. Not only will I not punish you, but I will follow you wholeheartedly." Chi Yu said, "What kind of bullshit logic is this?" Jin Dao. "Because we have a goal that must be achieved. For this goal, we need enough strength. As long as you can show enough strength, whether it is gods of destruction or Supreme Kai, you will volunteer to be your most loyal servant." Quote. Interesting. So what's your goal? This time, Jin didn't answer Chi Yu's words, but just smiled without saying a word. Chi Yu shook his head, then turned around and was about to leave. At this time, Jin stopped him. "Why is this leaving? Don't you really want to know what our goal is?" Chi 22 turned around and said, "What other goals do you have? You are already the most powerful universe, and I can guess what you yearn for. I just don't want to say. But in order to realize it, we need a powerful warrior like you." Jin stood up from the chair, and then opened his arms, as if to embrace the sky of the entire universe. Immediately after, he said, "Don't you find it strange? There are so many universes, such a vast and magnificent world. Its ruler is a child who doesn't understand anything. He doesn't even have a mature mind. He only cares about interesting he is interested in the game. In order to fulfill his wish, countless strong men fought to the death, and once he became unhappy, they would eliminate everything in the entire universe as punishment." Advertisement. At this point, Jin paused, then turned his head to look at Chi Yu and said, "Strange warrior. Don't you think this is boring?" Chi Yu said, "No matter who you are, Zeno, I feel very boring. I'm just a common man with no pursuit. I don't want to run for the president of the country, and I don't want to be involved in such a struggle." After finishing speaking, Chi Yu looked at Brawley, who was pressed to the ground, and then disappeared in place with a dodge. After Chi Yu left, Jin shook his head, and then said nothing. "Agudao. Then you have to ask the person in charge of monitoring other universes, arrest the officer in charge of intelligence work, and skin him tonight." What are the top and oldest universes? The strong Jin has long been familiar with it. For example, Jiren broke out in the 11th universe, and he knew it immediately. Brawley swallowed, and said, "What's the matter? Any warrior has his own living environment, even if he is not a righteous man. Once the entire universe he is in is threatened, he must stand up." Yes, Master Jin. In the face of absolute power, even a man as arrogant as Brawley can only silently lower his proud head. With that said, Thor released Brawley. An unknown guy like Chi Yu must have come from the low-end universe that was born relatively late. Jin Dao. Of course it's true, but you're fine. Even if you practice to the end of the world, you can't reach my level. Why did the strong like just now refuse to join us, and finally ran away for more than a dozen people? Universe, I found out that it is indeed a wretch like you. How about Brawley? I will give you one more chance. If you don't want to die, then do it for me. Advertisement. Woo. Quote. How can this be? Jin Dao. You are too far away from his realm, so of course you don't know how terrible he is. When I saw him, I wanted to see another world, an independent world with infinite possibilities that does not belong to Xeno. I believe, he is the warrior we have been looking for. As long as he joins, our dream will come true. At this moment, turning his head, Warrior Saul said to Jin, what about this guy? What he was talking about was Brawley, who was pressed to the ground, and after experiencing all this just now, Brawley felt a strong sense of unwillingness in his heart. Originally, he thought that he had become very powerful, but he didn't expect that he would be so vulnerable in front of the real strong. Agu murmured. This man, is this bald head really as strong as you say? Why are you doing this? Because in a world like 11 universe, which was born relatively early, he has always placed his eyeliner, paying attention to the movements here at all times. After all, 2 warriors turned and left, and the 2 lines of gold went to the task. In the entire 12th universe, if you do something wrong, you will pay a heavy price. Such things happen frequently, and everyone is not surprised. At this time, Agu, who was beaten into the air, ran back. Chi Yu's last slipper was so heavy that his entire face was swollen. Jin Dao. Of course, otherwise, how could I retain him like this? Jin said. Let him go, let him go. Brawley, I hope you won't let me down. Advertisement. Agu Dao. But there is such a warrior in this world, why haven't we heard of it? Seeing that Chi Yu had left, Yu said, who is this person? Everyone present couldn't believe it and questioned Jin one after another. Jin Dao. Go to the 7th universe and destroy this universe for me. I believe that with your current strength, it shouldn't be a problem, right? In fact, if Jin looked up the contestants of the power tournament, he could easily find Chi Yu's identity. However, in his opinion, a strong player like Chi Yu should not be interested in Xeno's games, but he doesn't know that there is an old saying in another world. If you break through the iron shoes, you can't find it, and it doesn't take much effort to get it. What? Okay. I will follow your orders. Jin shook his head and said. I don't know who he is, but he must be the top powerhouse in the entire universe, a super powerhouse stronger than me. Before you know it, Brawley is calling Kim Yu. Brawley roared. Kim, if I beat you, can I also be your master? Is what you said true? Jin looked at the place where Chi Yu was standing just now, and said, to get this bald warrior out for me. Are you kidding me, Lord Jin? An existence like Jin would not be interested in a battle in a weak universe like the Tournament of Power. Advertisement. Chapter 145 Brawley invades the 7th universe. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this moment, Beerus and the others just came out of the training room. It's only been a month in the outside world, but in Whis self-made time and spirit, they've been there for years. Goku and Vegeta are already bearded, and Vermut and Beerus are ragged. Beerus, who has been pampered all the year round, couldn't bear it the most. As soon as he came out, he yelled, cultivation is really hard. Now I just want to find a place to have a good meal, and then sleep for 100 years. Son Goku said. Master Beerus, let's talk about it after defeating Brawley. HMPH. Speaking of this topic, Vegeta immediately let out a cold snort. What Brawley? If he really dares to come, I will beat him to pieces. After this period of training, everyone's strength has been enhanced unprecedentedly. Although everyone's fighting style is still different, everyone has made great progress. Among them, except for Vegeta, everyone has perfectly mastered the use of Ultra Instinct. But don't underestimate Vegeta because of this. Although he didn't practice Ultra Instinct, Vegeta has made new breakthroughs in his own way. For Vegeta to say such words with such confidence, it's not just about breaking the bank. Whis said. In this case, let's go to Vegeta's house for dinner first. I heard that everyone has come out, but Bulma has prepared a lot of delicious food. Advertisement. Hearing this news, Beerus' eyes immediately became the size of copper bells. Whis, hurry up, I can't wait. Brawley was originally a foolhardy and reckless man, so when he encountered this situation, of course he followed immediately. In order to prevent Vegeta and himself from grabbing food, Son Goku immediately flew into the air, and then said to Brawley, haha Brawley. I didn't expect you to be resurrected from hell. I heard that you went to the 12th universe. You must have become a lot stronger. Quote. At this time, Brawley is no longer what it used to be. If there is a real fight here, the consequences may be very serious. Son Goku himself is a martial idiot, and when he sees a strong opponent, his old problems immediately flare up. As an old foodie for billions of years, what Beerus can't stand the most is someone tempting him with delicious food. For Brawly, this is where the destruction must begin. Beerus said, I don't want the 7th universe to be destroyed again. Goku Vegeta, you led him to the void. What happened again? Damn. Brawly said. Son Goku. We meet again. This time I must completely destroy you and Vegeta. Vegeta said. Strange, what about the bald devil? Didn't he stick to Tasi every day before? Son Goku said. I don't want to fight you here again. If you really want to beat me, then come with me. Advertisement. Beerus rushed out of the room and saw a green star twinkling in the sky. With the eyesight of the few of them, it is natural to be able to clearly see the situation behind that burst of green light. At this time, Bulma was ordering the servants to bring a lot of delicious things to the table. After all, Whis waved his scepter and teleported everyone to Earth. After all, Goku winked at Whis. The powerful green light burns in the sky, forming a tendency to block out the sky. Storms and waves blew the earth like invisible razors, plowing out ravines in the mountains and plains. Let's go together and solve him. Quote. Beerus looked around and saw Tasi sitting in the corner of the hall alone, depressed. Son Goku said. That's right, it's Brawly, he's really back. After finding Goku, Vegeta is certainly not far away. These two Saiyans who sent him to hell are the eternal pain in Brawly's heart. Only by defeating them head-on and appreciating how they struggled in despair can Brawly's anger be relieved. At this time, Satan was already frightened and ran away. Ever since I got to know Goku and others, such a thing will happen once every 3 days, which makes Mr. Satan feel very depressed. Beerus reached out to grab a piece of cake as soon as he walked briskly, but Bulma slapped Beerus' hand off. She squeezed her nose and said, Beerus, you guys go take a shower, it really stinks. Brawly stood in the sky and shouted, Son Goku, Vegeta. Get out and die. Advertisement. The latter waved his wand, creating a time-space portal to the void right in front of Goku. Goku jumped into the door without saying a word. In order to get to where he is today, Brawly has gone through unimaginably hard training for normal people. In Jin's arena, he crossed death again and then reached a stronger realm. It was a muscular Saiyan, burning with green flames, and it was Brawly from the 12th universe. At this moment, there was a sudden violent vibration from the ground, and the cake that Beerus just got fell to the ground again. Damn it, who is it? My cake, I want to kill him. Bulma whispered. Actually, the bald-headed Demon King had a quarrel with Ties. He said he wanted to go out alone to relax, and then he ran to other universes. Ties is feeling sad right now. Beerus was overjoyed when he saw this, and then said, Great, this guy has been tricked, and we can use our power unscrupulously when we reach the realm of nothingness. After all warriors jumped into the gate of time and space. Brawly and Son Goku were born on the same day, and because of some coincidence, Brawly was born to feel Son Goku's anger. So finding Goku is easy. Whenever he feels that he can't keep going, the image of Vegeta and Son Goku will appear in his head. Zhao's hatred brought him endless strength, and it was because of this that he was able to come out of that place alive. Hey, Master Beerus, Son Goku said. Sorry, there is no bathroom in the House of Time and Spirit. Advertisement. Chapter 146 Get Lost, or Die. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Before all of this, Chi-Yu was just a common person. Accustomed to the life of ordinary people, he has never cared much about who becomes the president and who rules the world. In contrast, he was more concerned about whether Tasi had calmed down when he returned home, and whether he would be awkward with himself. After running around the Dragon Ball world for a long time, he realized that he is not the material to be a hero after all. Although the world is big, there are only a few people who can have a relationship with him. Let's leave it to Goku and the others to save the world. Flying back along the sky of the void, suddenly, he heard a few roars. Kamehameha. Final flash. Destruction shockwave. Giant meteor. Chi-Yu raised his head, and suddenly saw 2 shock waves flying towards him, one left and one right. Why did this happen? It started half an hour ago. Unlike most villains with a lot of nonsense in 590, Brawly, a reckless man, never cares whether there are many people on the opposite side. As a result, he was surrounded and beaten by a group of people. However, Goku and others still far underestimated Brawly's potential and strength. After Jin's death training, Japan Brawly is indeed incredibly powerful. Advertisement. Unlike Goku and others who use Ultra Instinct to fight, Brawly's transformation is closer to Vegeta. Green's flame was brought to the extreme by Brawly. In the darkness of nothingness, he was like a dazzling green sun. The 4 of Beerus swarmed up, but still couldn't take Brawly. The 2 sides fought evenly, And when everyone was about to use Ki Blast to end the battle, Shiyu happened to appear between the two groups. As a result, the Ki Blasts coming from two directions hit Shiyu accurately at the same time. After the loud noise, Shiyu raised his head and looked at the two groups of people around him, his face darkened again. Damn, is I a Ki Blast receiver? I remember that this scene has been staged before, okay. Could it be that after I was reborn, I still have the attribute of attracting? This is boundless emptiness. You are trying to pretend to be me want to buy a lottery ticket. Originally, he went out to relax, but after returning, Shiyu's mood became even worse. At this time, the two groups of people were posing to launch the pause of Ki Blast, and they all looked at Shiyu innocently. The Bald Demon King. Why are you here? Are you that super bald warrior who appeared in the 12th universe? Seeing Shiyu, Brawly was the most surprised. The purpose of his trip was to help Jin find Shiyu. According to Jin, Shiyu probably has the #1 super combat power in the universe. However, what Brawly didn't expect the most was that Shiyu was also the warrior of the 7th universe. Of course, Brawly, who is not afraid of anything, doesn't really believe it. Advertisement. In fact, the gods of destruction named Jin has never made a move in person, and it is unknown whether he is a real powerhouse. As for his judgment, it is even more doubtful. You must know that the only thing Shiyu has done is to smoke the Supreme Kai of the 12th universe with his slippers. Supreme Kai, as everyone knows, is just a weak chicken with no fighting power. Brawly looked at Shiyu, then nodded and said, "That's right, if you can take my Ki Blast, you are considered a liar." CCAF, Shiyu didn't speak, and didn't even look at Brawly. That attitude is exactly the same as Kim, as if Brawly is really just a bum. Discount Brawly was furious. Bald-headed Demon King, what an arrogant name. I, Brawly, want to try today. Are you really like Jin said, and I am a person from a completely different world. If you are really that powerful, let's see your strength. At this time, Son Goku suddenly shouted. Brawly, don't mess with him. The bald devil recently had a fight with his wife, and he's in a bad mood. If you mess with him, we'll all be in trouble. Brawly said. HMPH. Son Goku, let me show you my real strength, Brawly. Burst. After all, Brawly's aura surged again. Green's flames gathered on him and formed a huge ball of light. In the ball of light, red fluff began to grow on Brawly's body, and he turned into the 4th form of Super Saiyan. Goku was surprised. Unexpectedly, Brawly hasn't shown his full strength yet. Beerus was also a little surprised. What is this form? Why haven't we seen it before? The 4th category of Super Saiyan is Saiyan's atavism phenomenon, relying on extreme anger to stimulate the power hidden in Saiyan's body. In this era, Goku and others are taking a completely different path, so no one has seen such a transformation. Advertisement. Of course, except for Shiyu. At this moment, Brawly roared again. It's not enough. It's not enough. Brawly's aura continued to rise, and the red hair on his body began to transform towards white. At this time, Shiyu finally raised his head and started to look him squarely. Hey, Super Saiyan 5. Since you have such power, why didn't you show it when you faced Kim? Do you think I'm easy to bully? At this time, Brawly finally completed the transformation. With White's hair and White's fuzz covering his body, and Green's lightning all over his body, he looks like a half-human, half-ape monster. Brawly said. It's all your fault, you showed up just as I was about to deliver a fatal blow to Jin, completely disrupting my plan. Shiyu complained. You idiot who is full of forgiveness, you still know what a plan is, don't laugh to death. Now you have 2 free choices, get out, or die. Brawly said. You are the one who will die. After saying that, Brawly flew up and launched his own attack on Shiyu. Advertisement. Chapter 147 The Gods of Destruction's Plan. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Super Saiyan 5 was supposed to be something in Dragon Ball F, after Dragon Ball, but now it appears in the official history universe. This made Shiyu sigh. Dragon Ball is really a world full of infinite possibilities. In fact, no matter what method is used, all roads lead to Rome in cultivation. Mysterious Gohan has never learned the transformation of Super Saiyan God, but he has also reached this level. The same is true for Brawly today, and even Shiyu himself. Brawly in Super Saiyan 5 state has no realm. He just fights with his physical body with a strong and unreasonable spirit, but it has the same effect as Shiyu. To deal with such an enemy, Shiyu finally took up his own weapon, and he took off his other slipper. Son Goku asked Beerus in astonishment, slippers? What does the bald devil want? You ask me, how do I know? The fact that Beerus et al. Do not know does not mean that Brawly does not know. When he was in the 12th universe, he saw with his own eyes how Shiyu beat up Supreme Kai with a slipper. Damn bald, How dare you insult me, Brawly? Thinking of this, Brawly became even more angry, and the arrogance on his body also increased. At this moment, Chi Yu raised the flip-flops in his hand, and then slapped Brawly towards the rushing towards Brawly. Advertisement. Not a snap, but a loud boom. The slipper in Chi Yu's hand was only half left in an instant, while Brawly flew up into the sky with a bloody line. People. Contrary to his identity, the stone room where Camus lived was extremely simple and shabby. There was only a stone bowl filled with water in the empty room, and there was nothing else. Supreme Kyagu pondered slightly, and then said, "So, that bald head is also a person from the 7th universe. Asking for flowers." Ivan looked at the vast galaxy outside the window, and then sighed. Yeah, the entire first universe has been preparing for this for too long. Brawly steadied himself, and it took a long time to pull himself together. At this time, his entire face has been pumped into a pig's head, with a red shoe imprint on it. Jin sat up from the chair, and then said, "In this case, let's go to the 7th universe again." When everything calmed down, Brawly's figure had completely disappeared into the realm of nothingness. In the distant 12th universe, Jin opened his eyes and said, "Brawly died, he died in the 7th universe. It seems that this new universe really has a lot of talents. Unlike most strong men, Camus' power does not come from himself, but is gifted by others." Brawly roared. "You're lying. Even if I can't become the strongest in the 12th universe, it's absolutely impossible for me to lose to someone in a lower universe like the 7th universe." Advertisement. The next moment, Chi Yu appeared above Brawly's head, and then raised the other half of the slipper in his hand. After saying that, Brawly was like a bull losing his mind, pressing towards Chi again. Chi Yu said, "Go back to the hell of the 7th universe and look for it, it must be there." Mirror series seriously one shoe. Jin has woken up and is collecting strong players from all universes. Are you ready? Impossible. How is this possible? I have clearly become so powerful. At this time, Ivan appeared in front of Camus like a hairball. His name is Camus, he is the strongest in the Supreme Universe, and he is also the absolute trump card in the hands of gods of destruction. In fact, Camus is not his name, but a title. As for his original name, Camus has long forgotten. At the same time, in the distant first universe, a monk was sitting with his eyes closed. In him, Gold's energy is the most lingering around him like a smoke screen. In the world of Dragon Ball, Chi is the root of strength. The stronger the Chi, the stronger the warrior will be. In each era, the first universe will select the most talented warrior, and this warrior is honored as Camus, which means dedication in the language of the first universe. Everyone was speechless. Generally speaking, slippers are the father's exclusive weapon, and they are used to beat the son. But Chi Yu can do it. Such a powerful Brawly is as powerless as a child in front of Chi Ya. Advertisement. Each generation of Camus is led by Ivan himself to cultivate, and when the warrior's lifespan is about to expire, he will transfer his Chi to the next person, that is, the next generation of Camus. After a long time, Beerus said tremblingly, "Brawly. Where did you get Brawly?" This tradition has continued in the first universe for hundreds of millions of years. Today, the aura of the contemporary Camus is as huge as the vast universe, and even the Grand Priest cannot compete with it. After all, Chi Yu flew towards the 7th universe on his own, and now he has to go home to deal with the crying wife at home, and has no time to spend with this group of people. According to Brawly's strength, there are not many people who can beat him. Except for the top 4 universes, it's really not easy to find such warriors in other places. The first thing everyone can think of is a bald guy of unknown origin. This time, Chi Yu really used his strength, and before Brawly could react, the half-slipper slapped on his body. With a bang of thunder, a terrible force erupted on Brawly, and the strong wind made Beerus and others unable to open their eyes. Of course, Mr. Ivan, our generations of Camus have been waiting for this day for generations, and have been preparing for billions of years. What did I just see? The bald devil beat Brawly away with a slipper. It's just. Chi Yu said. Didn't Jin make it clear to you? Brawly, you're just a bum with no brains and no combat power. Get lost, or I don't mind making a cameo appearance as Superman and sending you back to the hell of the 7th universe. Go. Camus stood up and assured Ivan. Master Ivan, don't worry, with me here, you will definitely become the next generation of Xeno. 0. Advertisement. Chapter 148 Indulge in Silkiness. 1 update, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. During the days when Chi Yu left, Taisi stood by the door every day like a watchman, shedding tears. Generally speaking, it is not a serious problem for the husband to run away from home, and he will come back in a few days. If it doesn't work, you can call the police, or post a missing person notice. But her man was different, a mighty warrior, a Superman who could go anywhere with his body. As long as Chi-Yu wants, he can stay in any universe, even gods of destruction can't find him. There is another person who has the same action as Tae-si, and that is the little girl Makarita. These days, Makarita squatted with Tae-si every day, but after waiting for so long, Chi-Yu still didn't show up. Instead, the two actually became 7 friends in this environment. Tae-si, it's all my fault. If I hadn't been stalking me, Chi-Yu wouldn't have run away from home. I also have something wrong. Obviously Chi-Yu did nothing wrong, but I lost my temper and got angry with him. Do you think Chi-Yu will not come back? What if he married someone else in a universe we don't know about? Having said that, the two of them had tears in their eyes again, and then sighed together. Advertisement. Bulma has seen everything that happened these days, and today, she delivered meals to Tais and Makarita as usual. Sister, Makarita, you'd better have something to eat before continuing to wait. Seeing that the two looked like they were not thinking about food, Bulma also sighed. Don't worry. Maybe you won't come back. After all, Tais, you have such a good relationship with him. Just as Bulma finished speaking, Chi-Yu appeared. He was ragged and barefoot, like a tramp. Seeing Chi-Yu, Tae-si and Makarita burst into tears at the same time, and then rushed forward. Scared me to death. I thought you weren't coming back. Finally back. You are finally back. What's the matter? Contrary to imagination, when Chi-Yu returned home, she was not smashed with slippers, nor was she slapped in the face with a broom. Husband, are you hungry? Bulma just asked the servant to cook. Handsome bald guy, are you tired? Why don't you change your clothes and take a shower first? Both Tae-si and Makarita handed their food to Chi-Yu, and at the same time, the stomachs of the two girls groaned. Immediately, even the heartless Chi-Yu was a little moved. You didn't eat anything. The two little faces blushed at the same time, and then looked at each other. Chi-Yu said, eat first. I'm not hungry, I'll just go take a shower and change my clothes. Advertisement. After finishing speaking, Chi-Yu walked to the bathroom. The things in Buli's mansion are all high-end goods. Chi-Yu put a big pot of hot water, and then submerged the whole body in the water, and then couldn't help sighing. Damn, it's better to be at home. The damn 12th universe, all of them only know how to practice, even the hotel is like a gym. This is hurting me. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Chi-Yu thought it was a robot waiter delivering cold drinks, so he casually said, come in. However, when the door was opened, Chi-Yu was stunned. Seeing Tae-si and Makarita appearing in the bathroom at the same time wrapped in towels, Chi-Yu was not calm for a moment. In terms of age, Makarita is more than enough to be Tae-si's grandmother, but Angel's lifespan is very long. Even after living for countless epochs, Makarita still looks like a delicate young girl. The drops of water stick together with her skin, crystal clear and indistinguishable from each other. But Tae-si is just the opposite. As a mature woman, Tae-si is synonymous with hotness, where it should be convex, and where it should be warped. Because she likes the sun on the beach, Tae-si's skin is a healthy wheat color, especially the pair of long legs. No matter how you look at it, you will never get tired of it. Through the hazy water vapor, Chi-Yu saw the perfect figures of the two, and felt a little thirsty for a while. You guys are. Tae-si said. I discussed it with Makarita. If you like it, we will. Seeing this situation, Chi-Yu was extremely angry. At this moment, he told everyone that he was different from those men who started to mess up and ended up abandoning. He wanted to tell Tais and Makarita that he was definitely not that nasty stallion. Then he yelled to the second daughter with a straight face. Yes, I just like this kind of thing, come on my darlings. Advertisement. Both Tae-si and Makarita submerged in the water, Chi-Yu hugged left and right, and let out a contented laugh. Damn, under the strong request of many readers, Lao Su has finally evolved into a harem heroine. What a long road, happy life in the future, what a world it is. Okay. The next day, Beerus brought a large group of people to Bulma to eat and drink, and saw Lumang and his second daughter laughing on a boat. Tae-si is feeding Chi-Yu fruit, while Makarita is helping Chi-Yu arrange his shoulders. Son Goku was also a married person before he was dull, so he probably knew what happened, so he asked, is it really okay for the three of them to be like this? Remembering how they waited at the door of the house before, Bulma sighed and said, it's better than being a watchman at the door of the house. Everyone has their own life, let them go. Vegeta sighed. It's no wonder that he is a bald-headed demon king, and he is so good at dealing with women. Vegeta. What did you say? Vegeta turned his head and saw that Bulma was holding a pot at 2.6 and smiling at him, with a big, well, character appearing on his head. Bulma, I didn't mean that, I never thought of being like Chi-Yu. Please believe me. Bulma took the pot and slammed Vegeta on the head, making a constant bumping sound, and then ran around the courtyard after him. At this moment, Vegeta suddenly grabbed Bulma's pot and looked up to the sky. Vegeta, you are a man who stays at home and does not work. You depend on me for food and drink. If I beat you, you still dare to fight back, don't you? Don't bother Bulma, something's coming. In the sky Vegeta watched. A black vortex was slowly forming. Advertisement. Chapter 149 Xeno's War. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Bulma was still relentless, but Beerus also looked at the sky at this moment, and interrupted Bulma's rampage. Stop making trouble, Bulma, something really happened now. Bulma said. What happened? Why are everyone so serious? At this time, Whis pointed to the sky for Bulma. At this moment, several figures emerged from the back of the black hole. It was gods of destruction Jin. And Jin's words sound incredible, but they are not completely unreasonable. No one wants to put their life in the hands of another person, let alone an entire universe. Once one party is defeated in this war, then he is the fish on the chopping board. Jin coldly snorted and said, of course, the election war for the next Xeno is about to start, because Xeno has decided to die. Jin's words shocked everyone present. Jin looked at Beerus with pity and said, except for the eternal time, there is nothing immortal in this world. Master Xeno is immortal, invincible, but this does not mean that he can really be eternal. Advertisement. At that point, the only thing the loser can do is pray that the new Xeno is a merciful man and doesn't wipe himself and the entire universe. Of course, this all sounds fanciful. Such an existence is about to die. Who would believe it? Mr. Chi Yu, we meet again, but it took me a lot of effort to find out your address and name. Chi Yu said displeased. Did I say you are engaged in pyramid schemes? Why do you want to pull into your universe when you see someone? Jin glanced at Vermut contemptuously, and then said, Vermut, do you think your 11th universe is qualified to win? From the very beginning, the champion has been determined by default, and only the universe with the highest ranking can win. As for what you know I don't know, it doesn't matter. Jin Dao. After Xeno's death, the world needs a new Xeno. We don't know how this kind of war will be fought, but Xeno will definitely choose a suitable successor in his heart and give him his power. But one thing is certain, only with absolute power can we win this war. Beerus knew Jin, but Jin didn't know Beerus, or he didn't take Beerus seriously at all. Beerus said. Nonsense, Lord Xeno is immortal, no one can defeat him. Chi Yu said. Then what is your so-called war? Jin did not get angry at Chi Yu's sarcasm, but said, Chi Yu. The reason why you say that is because you haven't seen the danger of the future universe. A war is about to break out, and the universe without power will eventually fall into a state of destruction no matter who it is. No one can escape this disaster, and only the most powerful universe can survive in this world. Advertisement. What? Xeno election war. All the gods of destruction. Beerus knew the name, and even though they hadn't communicated with Jin, Beerus still knew this guy. So Beerus stepped forward and said, Jin, what are you doing in our 7th universe? You are not welcome here. Because of ruining the relationship with the underworld, Beerus of course doesn't have a good look at Jin. Even with Jin's immense strength and army, after all Beerus is the gods of destruction of this universe, and this dignity is necessary. Chi Yu sat up from the boat and said, didn't I say that I'm not interested in your goals? At this time, Beerus and the others were already much stronger, so they could feel the destructive aura from these people. As soon as these people appeared, the expressions of the people present, including Vegeta and Vermut, changed. Generally speaking, although he is not righteous, he is not an evil person either. But there is such an existence, playing marbles with the universe all the year round, and constantly destroying the worlds. This in itself seems to be something that a person with a tendency to destroy will do. Chi Yu laughed, and then said, you mean you want me to believe that Xeno will commit suicide? Beerus said. Stop alarmist, where is there any war? Jin said. Of course someone can kill Lord Xeno, and that is Xeno himself. If Xeno is unwilling to choose his own end, then one day, he will become a person like Saitama. Advertisement. Things in the world are like this, if you choose to fight, you must bear the corresponding consequences. Standing in the sky with his hands behind his back, Jin said, you are Beerus. It's really interesting. You are running this new universe, but you have produced such powerful warriors as Brawly and Chi Yu. Maybe you are an excellent gods of destruction, how about it? Beerus, would you like to claim my universe? Come with me, I can appoint you as my lieutenant. Especially 22 Vermut, with cold sweat constantly breaking out on his forehead, and then slowly stepped back 2 steps, saying the name of this person. It's Gods of Destruction Gold. In retrospect, there was indeed something unreasonable about Xeno. Vermut said. Then why didn't the rest of our universes get the message? The winner can make them disappear completely with just one thought. Everything in the world has birth and death, even if no one else destroys you, one day you will choose a place for yourself. Suddenly, Chi Yu remembered what he had said to One Punch Man in his hallucination. After a long time, anyone will become a lunatic like me, and eventually destroy everything. Chi Yu frowned and said, since he is immortal and invincible, who can kill Master Zeno? Who is Zeno? He is the lord of everything who is in charge of life and death in all universes. As long as he is happy, a single thought can determine the life and death of countless worlds. Of course, do you know how long Master Zeno has lived? 1009 universe epochs, his lifespan is hundreds of times longer than Ivan and I. As for Beerus, even a baby in front of Zeno number. No matter how delicious the food is, you will get tired of eating it, and even the most fun game will get you tired of it. When you are tired of everything, it is only a matter of time before you choose to die. Advertisement. Chapter 150 Give Chi Yu a woman, 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Jin said to Chi Yu on the ground. Then Chi Yu, are you willing to join our 12th universe now? If you agree, I can even help you become Zeno, as long as you ensure the participation of our 12th universe in the future. Just status and safety. There is an old saying that one person attains the Tao and the chicken dog ascends to heaven. Jin hopes to use Chi Yu's power, even if it makes him the last person to achieve the Tao, as long as Chi Yu promises to take himself and his universe to heaven. In fact, there are no real evil people in gods of destruction, they are all the heads of the universe and the highest force in the world. If a guy like Brawly or Frieza had been gods of destruction, that universe would have been destroyed long ago. To put it bluntly, everyone is just standing in their own position, thinking about things that are beneficial to their own world. At this time, Vermut said, don't listen to him, there is Camus in the first universe, and that is the number 1 strongest person even the Grand Priest admits. You are definitely not his opponent, will die. Rarely, Vermut, who had degenerated into a lowly slave, expressed concern for Chi Yu. Chi Yu was slightly surprised, and then said, Camus. Does the first universe exist like this? Jin nodded and said, Camus' strength is almost ridiculous. With your current strength, of course you are not his opponent. But fortunately, we still have time. I will train you and give you even stronger strength. Advertisement. Beerus was a little disbelieving. The bald devil Chi Yu has never been defeated, no matter what kind of enemy he faces, he can be easily defeated with one blow. Jin Dao. Beerus, you can't see the depth of Chi Yu with your realm, but I can see it. The aura in his body is extremely vast. It can be said that he is one of the most powerful warriors in the universe, but he is not the only one. Camus. Strength has been accumulated over countless years, and in terms of the pure amount of breath, Camus is indeed stronger than him. But if it is better than the physical body, then it must be stronger. Regarding this point, Chi Yu has absolute confidence. If you only fight with the body, no matter where you are, I am afraid that you will not be able to find a stronger existence than One Punch Man. Chi Yu said. Okay, you go back, I said, I'm not interested in your goals. Jin looked at the 2 beauties on Chi Yu's boat, and said, do you like women? As long as you come to our 12th universe, I can find you any kind of woman. After all, Jin patted his hands, and a tall black-haired girl appeared in the 7th universe. She was wearing tight ninja black silk, her breasts were as big as a ball, and her butt was bigger than a ball, making one suspect that the waist of the water snake that was grasped could support the weight of her body. Chi Yu asked, what the hell is this? Jin Dao. Her name is Kei, she is the strongest person in our 12th universe, and she is also a gift from me to your excellency Chi Yu. Kei, do you know what you should do in the future? From now on, I will be Lord Chi Yu's wife, personal belongings, and servant. At this time, both of Chi Yu's ears were grabbed at the same time. Advertisement. The bald-headed demon king suddenly wanted to cry without tears. I finally lived a peaceful and happy life, why is it like this again? At this time, Jin had already brought his own people into the vortex and returned to the 12th universe. Once back in the 12th universe, Kim slumped into his chair. This seems to be just a simple cutscene, but in fact Jin has thought about many issues in advance. Agudao. Master Jin, is it really appropriate for you to do this? After all, Kei is the strongest in our 12th universe. Jin Dao. What's the use of the first strong man? Can the first strong man defeat Camus? I told you that the Xeno Selection Conference is likely to be a personal battle. What we need is one person, the strongest warrior. Quote. Only one person can take the position of Xeno, and the person who comes here not only represents his own universe, but also represents himself. The one who wins is Xeno, the one who loses may have nothing. The most disturbing thing is that the 12th universe where Kim is located and the strongest first universe are sworn enemies. If Camus or Ivan became the gods of destruction, they would definitely erase the 12th universe without hesitation, and completely get rid of this enemy who has been entangled for countless years. For this reason, no matter what kind of price you pay, you are willing. A Gu said. But there are many beauties in the 12th universe, wouldn't it be good to just find one? Jin angrily said. Aren't you talking nonsense? There are many beauties in the 12th universe, but are there many beauties in the 7th universe? You can give Beerus, but you can't. Vermut can't. Ivan can't. If you want to give it, you have to give it to me. Send unique ones. I heard that men on Earth treat women very caringly. Advertisement. Even if Chi Yu didn't join the 12th universe, if Chi Yu wins and becomes Xeno, at least he has K's relationship on his side. If Chi Yu wants to eliminate some universes that don't look pleasing to the eye, it's not easy to turn his face on this old man, right? Besides, even though K followed Chi Yu, he was still born in the 12th universe. If Chi Yu does not object, K can also represent the 12th universe in the exhibition. With his combat power, he should not be so stingy. Jin's abacus was rattling, but he always missed one thing, that is, Chi Yu is very stingy. So stingy enough to beat someone to death for a pair of pants. Majin Buu is so stingy enough to beat someone to death for a comic book. And now Chi Yu is having a good love affair with K. K is indeed the strongest from the 12th universe. She is good at various assassination techniques, and even Chi Yu can't feel her aura. For several days, K followed Chi Yu like his shadow, but Chi Yu couldn't find where she was. So the following situations arise. For example, when Taisi and Margarita were cooking, everyone was complaining to Chi Yu that gods of destruction is really shameless, even stuffing women into a married man's house. Chi Yu said, "You mean K? She has already been sent back by me." At this time, Carl appeared from Chi Yu's shadow and said, "Master Chi Yu, are you calling me? Do you need me to help you kill or warm your bed? Please tell me." Immediately afterwards, Chi Yu felt Vegeta's pain, which was double. Advertisement. Chapter 151, The Fifth Universe. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The fifth universe is called the Balanced Universe, and it is also one of the most powerful universes, and their gods of destruction is quite different from other universes. Eric will conduct a very in-depth verification of the destroyed objects, trying to expand the possibility of the world with a minimum of damage, so the fifth universe is the youngest among the 4 universes to reach this level. In the preliminaries of the Tournament of Power, several gods of destruction had fought briefly, among which Eric was able to hold his own against Supreme Ivan and perfect gods of destruction Likir, from which we can see his outstanding personal ability. P.S. I have carefully studied this paragraph in this work. There are rumors on the internet that Beerus is the strongest gods of destruction, but the source of the information is unofficial. Several gods of destruction fought briefly in the skirmish. Personally, I think that from gods of destruction the difference in strength can be seen in the grouping. Gods of destruction of the 4 strongest universes are all against gods of destruction of the same 4 universes. The author thinks that the arrangement of the original work has a deep meaning. Don't like it, don't spray it, don't take the setting that the eunuch Akira Toriyama did not announce. For example, 693. Eric looks like an African witch doctor, but he is full of wisdom. He has his own arrangements for the Xeno general election, which is not yet clear about the competition rules. Are you ready, Gale? Next, you're going to the 7th universe to assassinate the man named Chi-Ya. The one talking to him was a warrior wearing armor, his face was hidden under the helmet, and a long tail like a lizard was dragging behind him. Unlike the proud Jin, although the Tournament of Power is just a confrontation between the common universe, Eric will still study it carefully. This is the style of balancing gods of destruction. He is always so rigorous and never ignores any possible risks. He is afraid that there is a slight hint, and he wants to kill it before it is immature. Gale said. Yes, Master Eric, he is just a lowly universe warrior. I will definitely bring his life back to you. Advertisement. Eric nodded and said. Although you are the 5th warrior in our CCFG universe, don't underestimate the enemy. Yes, Mrs. Eric. After speaking, Gale bowed to Eric, and then walked out of the Gods of Destruction Hall. After the arrangements were made, Eric breathed a sigh of relief. He doesn't know when the Xeno selection meeting will start, it may be tomorrow, or it may be 100 years later. A talented warrior can fully develop his potential in just 10 years and become very powerful. Chi Yu is the champion of the power tournament, let's not talk about his current strength, but he must be a very talented warrior. If this person grows up, it is very likely that he will become the enemy of the 5th universe in the future. The best way is to take advantage of the present and get rid of it early. Although Gale's strength is not the most powerful, he is definitely the most vicious character in the 5th universe. In order to achieve the goal, Gale can use even the most obscene methods. With him making the move, Eric felt relieved. Of course, his focus, like Jin, is on the 1st universe. Advertisement. Camus of the 1st universe is the well-deserved #1 powerhouse in the whole universe. If you don't defeat this person, then everything is empty talk. At this moment, the tall and mighty angel Kukatel came up and said to Eric, Master Eric, Giliel, the gods of destruction of the 8th universe, has arrived. Eric nodded and got off his throne, then followed Kukatel to the reception hall. At this time, Giliel, who looked like a 10-song golden-haired fox, was already waiting here. Giliel is from the 8th universe, known as the perfect gods of destruction, so is very picky about everything. Giliel looked at Eric's living room with contempt and said, "Eric, how long has it been since you renovated this place? Look at the old floor. If it was me, I'd have eliminated all his things a few years ago." Eric said, "Giliel, I didn't call you here to listen to your comments on my decoration." Giliel wiped his hands with a handkerchief, and said, "It goes without saying that I understand that you just want to unite with me to fight against the more powerful 1st and 12th universes." Eric snorted and sneered, sat down on the sofa in the living room, and said, "That's right, since you're willing to come, it means you have the same idea as me, right?" Giliel nodded and said, "Ivan and Jin are indeed too powerful. If we fight on our own, we must be eliminated in the end. These two guys are not good characters. Once we fail, we will definitely be eliminated. Will be eliminated." Advertisement. In fact, there is one more thing that Giliel didn't say, but everyone knows it well. That is, it is absolutely impossible for the 1st universe and the 12th universe to be united. Because Ivan and Kim are enemies, everyone knows this. Once the 5th universe and the 8th universe form an alliance, then they are equivalent to the most powerful universe. The most troublesome thing is Camus. Yeah, K from the 12th universe is also a problem, but it's still better than Camus. As for the other universes, it's not a problem at all. By the way, I heard that the 7th universe has produced a pretty good one. The strong are called pressure. Eric sneered. "You don't have to worry about this. In 2 days, there will be no such person in the 7th universe." Giliel had already narrowed his eyes, and said with a frightening light in his eyes, "So you have taken action." Eric has never been soft-hearted when dealing with enemies, and he dares to use any means, which is well known. Eric said, "If you don't mind, please enjoy this show with me." After finishing speaking, he clapped his hands, and a light curtain appeared in front of his eyes. Above the light curtain, Gale wearing armor has arrived on Earth and is heading for the mansion of Buri where Chi-Yu is. Advertisement. Chapter 152 The Powerful Gale, 5 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Gale is the 5th warrior in the balanced universe. Although no one has ever seen what kind of face the person under the armor looks like, the entire universe knows this person's name. Because Gale lived long enough, he wasn't the most gifted, but he was definitely the oldest. In fact, Gale doesn't take Chi-Yu seriously. Anyway, the 7th universe is an inferior universe. No matter how strong the warrior here is, it is still difficult to compete with the 5th universe. It's not just talk. To know that people like Vegeta and Son Goku can be regarded as geniuses no matter where they are placed. But if they hadn't met Beerus and received Whis' training, it would be very difficult for them to reach today's level throughout their entire lives. Whether a universe is strong or not depends on whether their gods are in charge. The gods are the creators of living beings, and they should also be their teachers leading the way for these people to move forward. And Beerus from the 7th universe is always sleeping, and Supreme Kai is just a tamp who doesn't know what he is doing all day long. After a flash, Gale appeared on Chi-Yu's balcony. In the bedroom, 2 women were chatting. "Really? Damn, Chi-Yu doesn't know where to go. Don't worry, we didn't make much trouble this time, he just went out to avoid the limelight, and he'll be back in 2 days. Chi-Yu is not at home." Advertisement. Hearing this news, Gale was not only not disappointed, but secretly happy in his heart. According to his style of doing things, try not to force yourself if you can. It is with this cautious attitude that Gale can live to this age. The 2 women in the room should be Chi-Yu's women. If they were caught, the bald man at the power tournament would have no choice but to catch them. So Gale opened the window and jumped into the room. Seeing the intruder, Tacy was already frightened, but Makarita is the angel of the 11th universe, not some helpless little girl. At this time, she stood up and stood in front of Tacy, and said to the people in front of her, "Who are you?" The woman's voice didn't contain any hostility, but rather soft and cute, which made Gale a little confused for a while. What is even more incomprehensible is the content of her speech. Among the 12 universes, Camus is the strongest warrior, followed by Grand Priest. The woman in front of her is only the 3rd warrior in the entire universe after the Grand Priest. Margarita pointed at the door and said, "Get out. Otherwise, I won't be polite." Asking for flowers. Gale, that woman is K. K of the 12th universe. Gale frowned slightly. The woman in front of her was very strange. She was clearly standing in front of him, but she couldn't feel her breath. Generally speaking, there are only 2 reasons for this situation. First, the woman in front of me is a super strong person who is far beyond him. Second, this woman is just a common person. Why does it seem to be the woman from the 12th universe? K. Could it be that the 7th universe and the 12th universe have conspired? If she was really the third warrior in the whole universe that she knew, why would she come to Chi Yu's house to work as a servant? In Gale's mind, Chi Yu should have a certain strength to win the tournament of power. 0. Advertisement. As soon as Gale turned his head, he saw a woman in a black ninja outfit. She covered her face, only showing a pair of black-purple eyes, but those eyes are very beautiful, shining like stars in the sky. Seeing that he had succeeded, Gale let out a chattering laugh and said, "With you, I can let Chi Yu be captured without a fight, just come with me obediently." Two ladies. Eric said. As long as it can be successful, this is Gale's style of doing things. We have our own way of doing things, and there is no need to follow your aesthetics. At this moment, the voice of Gods of Destruction Eric rang in his ears again. Gale said to Eric on the other side of the universe through a spiritual connection, "Are you sure this woman is K?" K served as a maid in the 7th universe. Makarita also knew that she had met a strong man, so she turned her head and shouted to Tais, run, he is a very powerful person." Wait, what is this? Suddenly a voice came into Gale's ears, it was the voice of Gods of Destruction Eric. Gillier said, "It's just a human being in a low-level universe. Isn't it good to win glory? Anyway, that human being is not considered powerful. But the question is, why is this woman here? But compared with K, that is definitely the difference between heaven and earth." She flew up and kicked Gale's face. As the daughter of the Grand Priest, Makarita's strength is not weaker than that of Champa and Beerus before. It stands to reason that even if this kick did not go all out, it is enough to make this warrior who does not know where he came from suffer. Gale, watch your back. Advertisement. But Gale just reached out with one hand and easily grabbed Makarita's leg. No matter how hard Makarita tried, she couldn't get her leg out of Gale's hand. At this moment, a slim figure appeared in the light curtain, and she touched Gale's back without anyone noticing. You better let them go. In the 5th universe, two gods of destruction are watching as it happens. Unmoved, Gale continued to approach Makarita step by step. 6. Perfect gods of destruction. Gilal snorted coldly and said, "You actually want to win by kidnapping a woman, you people in the 5th universe are really not perfect." Gale laughed and said, "I'm here to invite two beautiful ladies to come with me, I think I have something to talk to the owner Chi Yu here." Finally, Makarita moved. Taisi and Makarita looked at each other, and immediately understood that the guy in front of them was after Chi Yu. "I am the maid of Lord Chi Yu. When the Lord is not at home, I should be responsible for the safety of this place. This warrior who does not know where, can you please let go of my mistress? Otherwise, I will kill you." This is a low-level universe, and of course Gale believes in the latter judgment more. But for some reason, he always felt that the woman in front of him seemed to be seen somewhere. Immediately, Gale's soul was exhausted. Advertisement. Chapter 153 The Chance to Become Xeno, one more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. As soon as Gale's words came out, even the two gods of destruction couldn't figure out the situation. Logically speaking, how could an existence like K go to a lower universe to work as a maid for others? Could it be that this person is not K? Come to think of it, the universe is so big that having two people who look alike is nothing new. Eric coughed twice, and said awkwardly, "I'm sorry, we should have made a mistake. After all, K's reputation is a little too loud. In the vast galaxy, there are no more than 4 or 5 people who can rival K. If they really encounter such a big evil star, I am afraid that even Gale will have to confess to being in the 7th universe." Hearing Eric's words, Gale's heart became more stable, and he said to K, "What happens here is none of your business. 653-2, get out if you want to survive. I only have to deal with that people called Chia. To deal with my master. So you are my enemy, so I don't have to hold back. Keep it. It's up to you." He looks like Gui Shang, but Gale doesn't believe that the person in front of him is really K. A female warrior from a low-level universe can't even feel breath in her body, so how could she stop her actions? At this time, Eric's voice came again. "Gale, don't waste time, take these two women away quickly, they are chips to threaten Chi Yu." Advertisement. Yes, a raise. After that, Gale slapped K's head with one palm. K stood still, but Gale's hand failed to hit K, because in the next second, his arm was gone. Blood spurted out from the wound, Gale was stunned for 2 seconds, and the severe pain suddenly struck. My hand, who are you?" K threw Gale's arm on the ground, and then said, "Aren't you talking about my mother just now?" "That's right, my name is K, and I am the maid of Lord Chi Yu." Seeing this scene, Eric and Gilliel, who were located in the distant universe, stood up from the sofa, watching everything that happened in the light curtain in disbelief. The woman who claimed to be Chi Yu's maid turned out to be K herself. How can this be? Why did K appear in the 7th universe? Did she betray Jin? Just now, even the two of them failed to see clearly how K did it when they destroyed Shendu. To have such strength, it must be K himself. K came from the 12th universe that believed in strength, and he never held back his enemies. In the next second, Gale's head flew high and hit the floor of Bree's mansion. From the beginning to the end, no one could see K's movements clearly, because her speed was too fast. Seeing what happened, Eric was the most angry. Originally, he just wanted to solve a future threat casually, but he didn't expect that not only the goal was not achieved, but General Yuan was lost. Advertisement. After all, Gale is the 5th-ranked warrior in the Balance universe. Without such a combat power, his grasp of the Xeno Selection Conference is weaker. How did this happen? How did Gale? K's strength is too strong. With the strength of the 5th universe, revenge must pay an extremely painful price. But at this time, Jillier said, "Calm down, Eric, this is an opportunity for us." Eric furiously said, "What chance? That's K, the woman who is second only to Grand Priest." Jillier said, "No matter how strong you are only one person. K actually left the 12th universe. That is our best chance. The 12th universe is not just 1K, Jin likes to find talents in each universe, so in terms of the number of strong people, the 12th universe is the most powerful. Therefore, everyone in the ultimate team is a rare powerhouse in the universe. These people usually huddle together, and no matter who they are, they have to avoid their edge. It's hard to find a guy like K who is alone." Jillier said, "K is really powerful. Although I don't know why she left the 12th universe, we have a chance in the face of a single warrior. As long as K dies in the 7th universe, then Jin's strength will also be greatly weakened. In this way, Gale's death will not be considered in vain. Sacrifice a Gale, but in exchange for such important information, if K can be killed, this is indeed a profitable business." Eric also had to admit that Gilil had a very good point. Advertisement. After pondering for a while, Eric made a decision and said to Jillier, "How many people can you produce?" Jillier said, "The strongest of our universe is currently training. Besides that, you can choose the 2nd or 3rd warrior. But relatively, you must also send out a strong enough combat power." Eric nodded and said, "That's it, even if we go all out this time, we must keep K in the 7th universe forever." At this time, K didn't know how much trouble he got into. She and Margarita moved the body out, and then came back to comfort Tais, who was terrified by Gale's death, saying, "I'm sorry, my mistress, I shouldn't let you see such a bloody picture of." After the incident just now, Taisy's perception of K has been reversed a lot. Originally thought that K was just a vixen sent by the 12th universe to confuse Chi Yu, but this super strong person actually sticks to his identity as a maid and treats him so respectfully. Not only that, but in the face of danger, K also stepped forward to protect himself and Makarita. So Taisy didn't want to show her face anymore. At this time, Makarita said, "K, are you really the 3rd strongest in all universes?" Jin actually had the heart to give such a big killer to Chi Yu, which made Makarita a little confused. Is the chance to become the master really so important? Makarita is not a human being like Tais who doesn't know anything about the multiverse, but her mind is very simple, so she didn't pay much attention to this matter. K nodded and said, "That's right, to be precise, they are tied for 3rd place. Our warriors rank 3rd, 4th and 5th are not much different in strength, and I am slightly stronger." Advertisement. Chapter 154. A slipper shoots you to death. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Hearing K's answer, Makarita exclaimed again, "That's really amazing, how does your strength compare with my father's?" K shook his head and said, "Grand Priest is indeed very powerful. I had a fight with him before, but I couldn't pass 200 moves. But I suspect that your father didn't try his best at all. 200 moves. No matter whether Grand Priest tried his best or not, it would be absolutely terrifying to be able to perform 200 moves in his hands. That's the Grand Priest, the warrior who serves Xeno. As a child of the Grand Priest, Makarita certainly knows her father's strength." Chi Yu stared and said, "What's the matter with you? Why 22? Seeing so many enemies, K said nervously, "Master, I'm afraid I'm not the opponent of so many people. That crocodile head is the 2nd strongest person in the 5th universe, and the 3rd strongest person in the 8th universe, and..." Chi Yu appeared in the courtyard, and while tying the belt of his pajamas, he shouted, "Wherever the mice come from, come out to me, or I will beat you to death with a slipper. P.S. Thank you for the 22,000 VIP point reward from the Lazy Panda brother, thank you very much. Yesterday I thought it was 20 or 30 yuan, but when I saw that it was 10,000 rewards, I was stunned, local tyrants. This month's meal money has been settled, so happy, thanks again to Masayoshi Tien." As soon as these words came out, Chi-Yu suddenly came to his senses. This group of people did not come for themselves, their goal was Kei beside him. Advertisement. Chi-Yu looked at Kei and said, "Can I count on you during this time? Makarita and Taisi have no fighting power against the high-level universe. Their safety will trouble you. For the 5th and 8th universes, this may be the largest expedition since their worlds came into being." Both sides brought several top-ranked warriors to surround Kei. In the original work, the 1st, 5th, 8th, 12th, and 4th strongest universes did not appear, so Chi-Yu has never seen any of these strong players. Each of them is extremely powerful, and now it seems that there is a reason why they are called the strongest 4 universes. Thinking about it, this training method is very in line with Jin's style. This Gods of Destruction turned his own Gods of Destruction planets into military bases, and implemented military dictatorship-like management. It's only normal for a warrior like Kei to come out. The fact that the 5th universe will send an assassin means that the Xeno trial is a real thing, otherwise the 5th universe, which has no intersection with the 7th universe, would definitely not need to spend so much trouble. That assassin's strength can surpass that of an angel like Makarita, so it's definitely not a small character that can be seen everywhere. Therefore, it is only natural that Kei has doubts about his own strength. However, the so-called tree wants to be quiet but the wind doesn't stop. On the 3rd day, Chi-Yu felt several strong chi appearing around his house. Kei said, "I was trained as a fighting tool. To be loyal to my master is the meaning of my existence. Now that Mr. Jin has transferred me to Mr. Chi-Yu, I will naturally be Mr. Chi-Yu's tool. As long as Mr. Chi-Yu don't transfer me to other people, I will guard you until death." Thinking of this, Chi-Yu is not doing everything possible to drive Kei away. Eric looked at Kei and said, "Unexpectedly, a powerful warrior like you would bring the 7th universe here. But you have left the ultimate team, so you don't have to go back." Advertisement. Chi-Yu sighed and said, "It's okay, just fight as much as you can. If you really can't fight, I'll come out and finish the job for you." That's right, Kei wasn't there when he made a fuss about the 12th universe. When Jin gave Kei to himself, something happened suddenly, so he didn't explain to Kei the reason for giving her to Chi-Yu. Just when Chi-Yu was confused, Makarita stood up and told Chi-Yu what happened just now. This made Chi-Yu fall into deep thought. At least if Goku and the others were replaced, they must have been picked up and beaten without running away. Kei looked at Chi-Yu with slight suspicion in his eyes. After finishing speaking, Chi-Yu got dressed and went out with Kei. Seeing Kei's low-key actions, Chi-Yu was a little uncomfortable and said, "Kei, why is a warrior like you so low-key? Actually, you don't need to be like this." That afternoon, Chi-Yu, who had gone out to escape, came back. Just like last time, the trio of Tais who had been having trouble getting along with each other got along harmoniously, which made Chi-Yu very suspicious, whether he was carrying something on his body that could restore peace to everything in the world buff. Seeing that they were discovered, the warriors of the 5th universe and the 8th universe did not hide, and appeared in front of Chi-Yu and Kei one after another. Chi-Yu threw the pillow away, sat up from the bed and said to Kei, "Kei, come with me, the damn mice have come into the house again." Advertisement. Really? Is it over yet? In an instant, Makarita regarded Kei as a treasure. She ran to Tais's ear, then whispered to Tais, and Tais nodded frequently. There is such a maid who will be hanged and beaten when the Gods of Destruction comes. Kei suddenly appeared in Chi-Yu's room, knelt down on one knee and said, "Yes, master." In any case, with Kei's protection, his own home is finally much safer. Kei knelt on the ground, put his hands on the ground and said, "Of course my master, my existence is to complete the tasks you assigned." Chi-Yu didn't want to participate in any Xeno selection competition. For him, the current life was already very satisfying. There are 2 beautiful and obedient women in the family. Even if Taisi's astronomical wealth is aside, he has extorted a lot of money from Satan. With a rich life and a happy family, what more can you ask for in this world? Chi-Yu in his previous life was just a common person, and such a life was already very satisfying for him. That's right, Kei's reputation in Dragon Ball Super Universe is enough to afford such treatment. Compared with it, I am just a small character in a low-level universe not attracting people's attention. If not, Jin might not be able to make everyone in the 12th universe obey him. Chi-Yu said, "Don't worry, I'm here." Kei began to introduce to 600 Chi-Yu, and Chi-Yu nodded repeatedly. Advertisement. Chapter 155 Chi-Yu's 5th Universe. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. For Kei, whether Chi-Yu is really that powerful is not the most important thing, what is important is that this is Chi-Yu's request. Chi-Yu's request is an order, which cannot be violated. Trained as a tool of the 12th universe, and having lived that way for such a long time, obeying his master's orders was like a survival instinct for Kei. So she nodded and said, swear to the death to complete the task. The fifth universe is originally the youngest of the four major universes, and in terms of background, the fifth universe is also the weakest. In such a short day, the fifth universe has lost two important players. Eric winked at Warrior behind him, and said, Bud, go and test her strength first, and if it doesn't work, then quickly back off. At this moment, Bud roared again, and the flame on his body became stronger. These blazing flames wrapped Bard's body, making him look like a dazzling planet. One is Bud, and the other is Gale, who got Zhao, both of whom are ranked in the top 5 warriors. This move was extremely fierce, and at the critical moment, Bud finally managed to stabilize his figure and dodge it. After opening the distance, Bud looked at his waist and found that there was a hole in his scales. Advertisement. After all, Kay opened the door of time and space for Chi-Yu according to Chi-Yu's request. Chi-Yu stepped in, followed by Kay. Kay didn't speak, but put on a defensive posture, serious and silent. Seeing this scene, Chi-Yu couldn't help but nodded in satisfaction. Bud is the crocodile company Kay mentioned earlier, ranking second in the 5th universe and 10th among all universes, just entering the top 10. Generally speaking, the strength difference between the top warriors is not that big. In comparison, Chi-Yu's style of blasting the enemy and the universe together at every turn is indeed a bit too rough. Bud shook his fist, then opened the crocodile's big mouth and said, I think the third position in universe will be replaced from today. After the preparations were completed, Bud's figure turned into a series of afterimages and rushed towards Kay. At this moment, Kay also moved, and her body turned into an arc in the void, piercing Bud's waist from the side. After all, the two gods of destruction brought their own warriors to the realm of nothingness. There are only 2 people on the other side, and one of them is the warrior of the 7th universe, so there is nothing to worry about. Seeing Kay's hand knife, Jillier couldn't help admiring. It's really a perfect move, it deserves to be the third in the universe, it's amazing. Eric said angrily. Bastard Gilliel, you are still praising the enemy. Our 5th universe has already lost 2 warriors. Although Kay is dressed as a female ninja, she doesn't have a weapon in her hand. Instead, she has a light blade condensed from Shi. This move is very similar to Hit's hand knife, and the same fighting technique should be used. Advertisement. Chi-Yu said. You don't need to swear to death, can you open the door to the world of nothingness? As long as this state is reached, it is almost difficult to tell the winner within 10 minutes. Letting Bard test the enemy's strength can not only find out the enemy's details, but also avoid reducing the number of people on his side. It is really a good and stable move. At this moment, Bud burst out of his anger. A stream of flames burst out from between Bard's scales, and burned radially, looking extremely powerful. Besides, although they are also Ultra Instincts, Bard's Ultra Instincts and Goku are completely different dimensions. Bud's silver light is very subtle, but very concise, and it is as effortless as breathing. In any case, with Kay's calm and sharp fighting spirit, Chi-Yu has already won half of the battle. It is definitely a good thing for Jilliel to weaken the 5th universe to a limited extent. Of course, it cannot be weakened too much, otherwise, when facing the 12th universe and the 1st universe, everyone will still have to give up. The battle ended in a split second, and Kay's hand knife cut the crocodile Bud in 2, making the 2 Supreme Kai dumbfounded. Of course, Eric squinted his eyes and said, we didn't come to the 7th universe for a joke, but Kay has already appeared, so of course we can't just give up. In their view, it was normal for Bud not to be Kay's opponent, but being killed in such a short period of time was definitely something that no one expected. Seeing Bud's death, Eric was on the verge of collapse. Of course. Advertisement. At this moment, Ka stood up from beside Chi-Yu and said, which one of you will come first? The golden-haired fox Gilliard glanced at Eric and said, shall we follow? Jillier said, obviously you said that you want Bud to test it first, so what does it matter to me? This time, Bud's speed was more than 10 times faster, and he appeared in front of Kay in the blink of an eye. But Kay's speed is faster than him, to an unimaginable extreme. He doesn't seem to be Jillier's warrior, of course he doesn't feel bad. Although allies, after solving other universes, everyone will eventually become enemies. Obviously, this warrior's understanding of Ultra Instinct has reached a very high level, just like breathing, completely turning his talent into his own instinct. Kay still didn't speak, and looked at Bard intently. This is the way the third strongest person in the universe fights. Accurate, ruthless, and absolutely free from any interference from the outside world. Every minute and every second is observing the enemy, waiting for the opportunity. She hardly confronts people head-on, like a poisonous snake entrenched in the dark, waiting for a fatal blow at any time. It's amazing. For the real strong, Bud was not stingy with his praise. If I had been slower to react just now, I would have been ripped apart. The periphery of the flame is also covered with a layer of silver, which is obviously the symbol of Ultra Instinct. Chi Yu said to the warriors of the 5th universe and the 8th universe with his hands behind his back. If you are really not afraid of death, then follow me to the void world. Advertisement. Chapter 156. No one can escape. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Bud is already the warrior ranked 2nd in the 5th universe. Judging from the strength K showed, he would die if he went up alone. Seeing that the situation is not good, Eric said, "It doesn't matter, one person is not K's opponent, let's go together." Killing K was also the main goal of Jillier's trip, so this time, he didn't hold back and sent all his warriors directly. These warriors come from different universes, but they are all equally powerful, adding up to more than a dozen people. He blast flew around in the void, constantly setting off clusters of shockingly powerful explosions, but K was like a butterfly beside the enemy, constantly fluttering. No matter how the enemy attacks, they just can't touch her. All of a sudden, a bright cross light slash appeared in the void, and a warrior was abruptly cut into 4 pieces by K. Eric asked anxiously, "Why is this woman so strong? Could it be that so many warriors are not her opponents?" Jill and Eric looked at Chi Yu, who was on the side, and the latter mocked, "Do you think we are idiots? How can we let her rest at this time?" In the next second, a terrifying voice rang in his ears. Advertisement. At this moment, Chi Yu yelled, "Stop, stop. My maid is tired. It's halftime now. Let her rest and recover before playing again." It turns out that this seemingly common man is actually a strong man who can stand shoulder to shoulder with Camus. This is simply outrageous. Chi Yu said, "I didn't think you were idiots, I just thought you were all weak. If you don't stop, I will be rude." Jillier snorted coldly and said, "You are a low-class resident of the universe who doesn't know how to live or die, a guy who only dares to hide behind women. An existence like you is not perfect at all. No, not only is it not perfect, you are simply the scum of the world." This warrior looked at Chi Yu's unscratched chest, and then at his bloody fist. He really couldn't understand why his punch, which could destroy even galaxies, didn't cause any harm to Chi Yu. That's right, if not, how could Jin give her to Chi Yu? What is this man's body made of? Is there such a hard substance in this world? What is this? After the loud bang, Chi Yu remained motionless, looked down at the dazed warrior in front of him, and said, "Have you not eaten today, kid? Why are your fists limp, as if they were tickling me?" The warrior from the 8th universe instinctively wanted to escape, but it was too late. What Chi Yu said was true, and Nian Kui can testify. Advertisement. Jill and Eric turned pale with fright, opened the gate of time and space, turned and ran. Chi Yu didn't go after him. After this battle, even if they gave them 100 courage, these two guys probably wouldn't dare to disturb their lives again. Eric yelled, "Keep it up. Kay is about to die, kill her for me." Chi Yu rarely activates his flame form, firstly because it is unnecessary, and secondly he cannot control his own destructive power. But here is the realm of nothingness, which allows him to indulge himself. The loud noise continued continuously, spreading to the endless void. She began to pant violently, and the 2 vitality knives in her hands gradually dimmed. In fact, it was Kay who was the most shocked. We have lived together for a while, but Kay didn't expect his master to be such a powerful existence. Kay murmured, "Is there really someone in the world who can reach such a state by himself?" Million series true serious punch. At this time, Kay pulled back her face scarf, revealing her beautiful face for the first time. She was looking at Chi Yu adoringly, her eyes were full of little stars. At this moment, Chi Yu's body erupted with blazing white flames. Suddenly, an unimaginably vast Chi appeared in the void world, and the torrent of power made the entire void world tremble slightly. "Master. You are really. You are so powerful. If they didn't run fast, none of them would be able to escape." Advertisement. Just when Kay was killing God, a warrior seized the opportunity and launched a surprise attack on Kay. But his fist didn't hit Kay, but hit the chest of Chi Yu, who suddenly appeared. Jillier said, "After all, Kay is a warrior who can go through 200 moves in the hands of the Grand Priest, but it is not so easy to defeat. Be patient, her power is not endless, as long as you can kill her, worth the price." 330 inches. Why does such a warrior appear in the 7th universe? If he is someone from our 8th universe, then the Xeno trials. On the contrary, he was more interested in the person named Camus. He heard from the 2 gods of destruction that this strongest person in the universe seemed to be able to reach such a state. If this is the case, it is not impossible to participate in the selection of development. That appearance is 80% similar to the original Makarita. The fighting became more and more fierce, Kay became more and more courageous, the second, the third, the fourth. Not long after, 5 or 6 warriors were killed by Kay. But by this time, Kay's physical strength was obviously exhausted. Camus' power is not his own, and the reason why he reached that terrifying state is entirely because of the sacrifices of the strong in the past. Generations of Camus passed down their own chi, and injected it into the body of the next generation of Camus, so that such a terrible monster was created. But what happened to Chi Yu? Why does this bald man have an aura no less than that of Camus? In an instant, all the warriors turned into dust, floating in the void. Chi Yu's fist carried terrifying energy, like a wildfire on the dry grassland, engulfing everything in front of him in an instant. Not only this warrior, but also everyone brought by the two gods of destruction is enveloped in it. Feeling this breath, the faces of Gilil and Eric instantly turned pale. In their memories, there is only one person in the world with such a terrifying aura, and that is the contemporary Camus of the Day universe. Chi Yu said. After I got married, my temper became much better. A few years ago, I might have gone to their hometown alone. Advertisement. Chapter 157. Prepare in advance. 1 update. Please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The two gods of destruction returned to the fifth universe, but they were still in shock from what had just happened. Up to now, they still can't figure out where this pervert Chi Yu came from. Jillier said. What happened to that bald head? This is simply beyond common sense. The time Chi Yu appeared was still very short. In the eyes of gods of destruction, whose time unit is hundreds of millions of years, this man should be about the same age as a baby. If they hadn't witnessed Chi Yu's incomparable ability with their own eyes, Shendu wouldn't have believed that a warrior of a lower universe would have such power. There are so many strong men, they can't stop Chi Yu's punch. Eric, who has always been known for his witty calculations, frowned, and said after a long time, "You are right, there is a problem with this person, and his existence is unreasonable." Unless. 17. Jill said, unless what? Eric paused, and then expressed his conjecture. Unless he is not from this universe. I think Lord Jin must have taken a fancy to Lord Chi Yu's power. It's really not what method Dao Jin used to train K like this. Advertisement. When the two Supreme Kais were plotting a new conspiracy, Chi Yu was taking K on his way home. Hearing Chi Yu's words, Beerus and the others shuddered slightly. After watching K's battle, Chi Yu couldn't help but praised. Speaking of which, you are really powerful. You are many times stronger than those guys like Son Goku and Beerus. Camus may have a higher realm than Chi Yu, but Camus cannot be simply regarded as a person. He is the synthesis of thousands of generations of Camus, which is why he is so powerful. But it's unreasonable for someone like Chi Yu to appear. The seventh universe was born less than 1/10 of the time of the first universe. Even if he mastered the same secret method as the first universe, he probably wouldn't be able to cultivate a strong person like Chi Yu. Bye. Chi Yu said. Actually, they didn't come for me, but were planning to assassinate K who was beside me. I have already killed them, but the two saboteurs Shendu ran away. What? When Zeno is the manager of this world, he can wipe out everything in the world at will. However, no one knows whether his ability will still work if he faces creatures that do not belong to this world. Asking for flowers. Jillier said. You mean, Jade is an alien species? K touched his head and said. I don't know about this either, I know how to be a qualified tool. Master Jin told me that these things are not something I need to consider. K. Hearing Chi Yu's words, Beerus was a little surprised. Why did they kill this woman? Advertisement. Then there is only one possibility, that is, Chi Yu is not from this world. Hearing Chi Yu's praise, K blushed and looked very cute. Chi Yu said. K is the strongest in the 12th universe. According to the two gods of destruction, they seem to be trying to get rid of the competitors in the Xeno selection meeting in advance. Beerus. It seems that Jin did not lie to us, this matter is true. At this time, K said again. Master Chi Yu, can I follow you all the time? There is also a unique superpower in this world who is more powerful than Chi Yu, and that is Camus. If Camus does match up with Chi Yu, win or lose, the alliance formed by the 5th universe and the 8th universe will be minus a powerful enemy. Master Chi Yu, my strength is your strength, and you are so powerful. Even without me, not many people are your opponents. Jillier said. He is so strong, how to eliminate him? Even if we send all the warriors, we may not be able to win. Even if we succeed, how can our district compete with the first and second universe under the huge loss of Ku? For a long time, the people around Chi Yu have been evaluated by him as having no actual combat effectiveness, but K is different. Even compared to Super Omega Shenron, K is much stronger. Everyone knows the value of Zeno's position. If this matter is true, then the whole world will probably enter troubled times. In order to obtain the power of Zeno, I am afraid that many people will spare no effort to do anything by chance. Chi Yu sighed, and then stopped asking this question. He saw that this girl was really stupid. If she doesn't give orders, she can't even judge herself in many things. Life in every world follows the basic laws of survival and evolution, and the rules of the universe determine their upper and lower limits. According to common sense, it is impossible for a strong person like Chi-Yu to appear in this world. Advertisement. Giliel said. Now is not the time to ask this question, even if he really came from another universe, it doesn't make sense to us. Because such a warrior cannot replicate. Beerus said. I heard that you were attacked by the 5th universe and the 8th universe. How is the situation? Beerus sighed. It seems that we really have to prepare in advance. In fact, this also made Chi-Yu a little worried. He didn't understand whether the gods of destruction gold in the 12th universe had a wrong nerve, and he insisted on giving K to himself. As you like, Chi-Yu said. K, can I trust you? Maybe you should tell me why Jin gave you to me. Eric said. There is indeed such a possibility. If this is the case, even Zeno may not be able to eliminate him. But I have made it clear that I will not join the 12th universe. Hearing Chi-Yu's answer, K instantly became full of energy, as if he had encountered some great event. Not long after, Chi-Yu and others arrived home. In addition to the second daughter of Tae-Si, gods of destruction Beerus and Goku also came this time. Eric said. Since it cannot be replicated, it must be eliminated. Eric said coldly. We can't defeat him, it doesn't mean other people in this world can't. As long as we make Camus and Chi-Yu hostile, everything will be fine. Advertisement. Chapter 158 Xeno Selection Conference. 2 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The so-called come whatever you are afraid of. The next morning, the Grand Priest descended on the 7th universe. Grand Priest is Xeno's messenger, and when he comes, Xenos will naturally arrive. Beerus and the others quickly ran to the ground of the Grand Priest, lay down respectfully on the ground, and prepared to listen to the teachings of the Grand Priest. Finally, the Grand Priest announced the news that made them extremely worried. Grand Priest said, Master Zeno is ready to unload the burden. 2 years later, Master Zeno will hold a Xeno selection meeting in the void. The competition will still take the form of a group arena, which is similar to the last strength conference, but it will no longer be a team competition, but an individual competition. Vegeta said. Individual competition. What does this mean? Grand Priest said. That is to say, everyone does not represent the universe he is in, but represents himself. As long as he can win the competition, he will be the new master. The Grand Priest's words made everyone gasp, even Chi-Yu who stood aside. Anyway, the winner this time will inherit the power of Zeno, which is scary to think about. There is only one position for Zeno, and only one person can win this game, so everyone can only represent themselves in the competition. Once you win, you will reach the sky in one step, and if you lose, you will be lost forever. Even if the current Zeno will not eliminate the losers, the new Zeno probably will not let go of these enemies who dare to compete with him. Advertisement. Chi-Yu said. But why limit the time to 2 years? Grand Priest said. Considering that in the universe born later, many warriors have not yet developed their potential, so Master Zeno decided to give these warriors a period of time to practice. Beerus also asked. Do all universes have to participate? Grand Priest nodded and said. That's right, each universe must send 10 warriors. Well, let's not talk about it, I have to notify other universes. After all, the Grand Priest disappeared into the 7th universe. Everyone was silent, and after a long time, Beerus said to Chi-Yu, what do you think? Beerus naturally hoped that Chi-Yu would participate, as long as Chi-Yu was there, the winning rate of the 7th universe would increase a lot. But the final decision is still in Chi-Yu's hands, because this match is too dangerous, if one fails, even a squeeze will cost his life. Chi-Yu said. Give me a little time to think about it. Beerus nodded and said to several Saiyans. Okay, but Goku and others must participate, everyone go to gather the players first. Then let me all enter the room of time and spirit, and no one is allowed to come out within 2 years. Quote. For any universe, this battle is a challenge, but also an opportunity. As long as one of the warriors wins, even if it's just luck, the entire 7th universe will benefit greatly from it. With Zeno in the future, other problems will not be a problem. Goku said. Speaking of players, I have a good candidate. Advertisement. Beerus sighed. I thought about it too, but I'm afraid he won't cooperate. Vegeta asked blankly. Who are you talking about? Son Goku and Beerus said in unison. Broly. Vegeta was quite frightened, but after thinking about it carefully, he felt that what Beerus and Son Goku said made sense. Since Jindu values Broly so much, it means that Broly does have a talent that is rarely seen in the entire world. In previous battles, Broly has shown extraordinary strength. If in such a short period of time, Broly can achieve such growth, then give him another 2 years, no one can tell how far he will reach. It's just that Broly doesn't have a bright mind, so it's hard to reason with him. In contrast, Frieza, who is smart and evil, is far better. Vegeta said. I'll talk about this later, Kakarot. Now we need to collect 7 Dragon Balls first. Dead people can't enter the room of time and spirit. Anyway, Frieza has to be resurrected. According to the agreement in the last power tournament, Frieza should also be revived after the match. The protagonist and his party are pure and kind people, and since the agreement is made, they will not go back on their word. After that, Chi-Yu took K back to his home, and Vegeta and Goku went out to collect Dragon Balls. For these two, collecting Dragon Balls was indeed an easy task. With the help of the Dragon Ball radar, it took less than a day to get all the Dragon Balls. Afterwards, Beerus took Goku, Vegeta and others, and went to the underworld himself. Because of Jin's attack just now, the underworld at this time is still in a dilapidated state, and it can be said that there is no grass growing. Although the staff of the underworld are still undergoing repairs, it may take a long time before the real restoration to the original state. Advertisement. Seeing Beerus coming in person, Yan Wangli stepped out to greet him and said, Master Beerus. What are you doing here? To be honest, Hades is really afraid of these gods of destruction who will destroy the world if they disagree with each other. Their power is too strong, and most of them are moody. Beerus said, take me to Broly. Why Broly again? Beerus glared at Hades, and immediately frightened him badly. So Yan Wang hurriedly said, Master Beerus, I will take you there personally, please don't be angry. Soon, everyone saw Broly in a hell of 0.2 ruins. He still maintained the appearance of the last time we met, but his expression looked a little depressed. Seeing Beerus and the others, Broly asked, are you here to laugh at me? To laugh at my loss to that bald-headed earthling? As the legendary Super Saiyan, Broly's self-esteem is no less than that of Vegeta, otherwise he would not openly challenge Saiyan's king back then. For the matter of losing to a person on Earth, Broly must have a brood in his heart. Beerus said, I'm not interested in making fun of you. We came here specially to invite you to participate in the Xeno selection meeting 2 years later. Advertisement. Chapter 159 Preparations before the station. 3 more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What Xeno selection meeting? I'm not going. Sure enough, Broly was tougher than Frieza. Frieza would at least listen to what Son Goku had to say, but Broly refused without even thinking about it. Beerus was already prepared for this. He took out the pocket containing the Dragon Ball, and said to Broly, if you agree to participate in the competition, I will use 7 Dragon Balls to revive you. Unexpectedly, Broly interrupted Beerus and said, if you don't want to go, don't go. What are you talking about, bastard? How dare you disobey me, gods of destruction, Beerus? Seeing that Beerus was about to get angry, Vegeta quickly pulled him back, and then said to Broly, Broly, do you want to get the power to defeat Shikai? What? This time, Broly finally raised his head and looked at Vegeta in surprise. Both Vegeta and Broly are the most traditional Saiyan, pursuing absolute power, and have a paranoid competitive heart towards those who are stronger than themselves. This point can be seen from the fact that Vegeta competes with Goku all the year round, and even became a demon Vegeta for this reason. So the person who knows Broly best is actually Vegeta. Advertisement. After hearing Vegeta's words, Broly really became interested and asked, how can you really defeat him? Vegeta said, of course, that is to become Xeno. His words startled both Beerus and Son Goku. Jokingly, if Broly became Xeno, then all the universes would cease to exist tomorrow. But in this Xeno selection meeting, everyone really needs Broly's strength. This is the same reason that everyone had to let Frieza participate in the Tournament of Power. At least Broly can eliminate a few more enemies for everyone. Broly said, what is Xeno? Next, Vegeta began to introduce the format of the Xeno selection conference to Broly. The more Broly listened, the more excited he became. That is to say, as long as I win this conference in Raleigh, I will become the strongest person in all universes. Yes, stronger than both Jin and Chi-Yu. You can kill them all with a single thought. Broly snorted coldly, then nodded and said, all right then. I'll just come to this Xeno selection meeting. Unlike Frieza, Broly has strong limbs and a simple mind. Once he promises something, he usually doesn't regret it. After getting his answer, everyone went to where Frieza was. Of course the ambitious Frieza would not let go of this opportunity to climb on top of Beerus, and agreed without even thinking about it. So Goku summoned Shenron directly in the underworld, and made a wish to Shenron, hoping that both Frieza and Broly would be resurrected. Advertisement. After a flash of white light, Broly and Frieza appeared on Earth together. Beerus put his hands behind his back and said, okay, with the addition of Goku's son and brother number 17, we have a total of 8 people. In the end, we will see if Chi-Yu and Kaya-san will participate. If they don't come, we will make up 2 more. Individuals will do. Frieza sneered and said, HMPH, it's amazing that I would fight side by side with you again. Beerus said, combat. Don't be arrogant, Frieza, there is no difference between your current strength to participate in the Xeno selection meeting and death. We still have 2 years to practice. If you can't meet my requirements by then, I will personally send you back to hell. What did you say? Even if it was Beerus who said this, Frieza was still very upset. The thing he hates most in his life is the contempt from others. At this moment, Beerus pointed to Frieza and said, Vegeta, let him wake up. Vegeta nodded, and the flame of blue burst out all over his body. Compared with the last time we met, how could Vegeta be 100 times stronger at this time? The terrifying aura oppressed Frieza, forcing him to retreat again and again. Looking at the embarrassed Frieza, Beerus said, understood now, Frieza, even if Vegeta's strength is not enough to be seen in the Xeno selection meeting, let alone you. During your absence, many things it has long since changed. Frieza said, you mean, do we still need to practice? Beerus said, every one of us must enter the House of Spirit and Time, except one. Who's that person? Chi Yu. Advertisement. After speaking, Beerus looked in the direction of the Buri mansion, and until now, Chi Yu has not given him a positive answer. In fact, Chi Yu at this moment is not as relaxed as usual. In the world of Dragon Ball, it is a good thing to be able to fight with enemies who are flying into the sky and escaping from the ground. You can fully experience the atmosphere of the Dragon Ball world, and it is also good for peace of mind and health. If you are lucky, you may even gain the admiration of the 2 little girls. 060 But if Chi Yu wants to bet his own life, then Chi Yu is a little hesitant. According to the words of Jin and the other 2 gods of destruction, the person named Camus may indeed have strength beyond his own. And when the Grand Priest came to announce the rules, he didn't say that killing people is not allowed in this conference. However, the rewards of the conference are too attractive, enough to make people take risks. That is Xeno's throne. If you really win, you will be Xeno. The entire Dragon Ball world is under your control, and the Grand Priest and angels will become your servants to meet any of your requirements. No matter who it is, everyone has greed, and so does Chi Yu. Under the temptation of Xeno's power, Chi Yu couldn't help but be moved. So he looked at Taisi beside him and said, honey, do you think there is anything in this world that you can risk your life to fight for? Taisi said, I don't know, because I haven't encountered such a thing. Is that so? Chi Yu's hand gradually loosened. At this moment, Taiyi's words ignited a fire in his heart again. Advertisement. Chapter 160 Everyone's strength is skyrocketing. For more, please subscribe. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Taisi said. But I think, if such a thing can really happen, it must be something to be thankful for. Chi Yu shook his hand, then looked up at the boundless sea. Kay, are you there? On weekdays, Kay always hides in the shadows, but upon hearing Chi Yu's words, her figure emerges from the corner of the wall. Have you any orders, my master? Chi Yu said. I heard that you are the strongest in the 12th universe. Kay said. Yes, even Mr. Jin still needs me to be on the front line. Then your fighting skills must be very good. Chi Yu has an invincible body and an aura like the stars in the sea. But the only thing lacking is fighting skills, because the enemy's strength is too weak, so no one can block his punch. But if Camus is really as strong as everyone says, then Chi Yu can no longer fight in this way. Can you teach me your tricks? Advertisement. Of course, my lord. Champa let out a long breath and said, it's really unexpected that you can reach this level in 2 years. Bados, let's buy. The huge stone wall collapsed suddenly, and the fragments of the star stone fell like a waterfall. At the same time, Hit was wearing a linen robe, looking alone at the stone wall in the rolling yellow sand. According to the gods of destruction Champa, the stone is called the Star Stone and is a substance that fell into the 6th universe from other worlds. At this moment, Champa and Bados appeared on this desert planet. It has always been Hit's dream to smash Chi Yu's defense, but every time he fails. In order to obtain an attack power capable of injuring Chi Yu, Hit came to this planet alone, honing his attack against the Star Stone day and night. Hit folded his arms and said, I don't know which one is harder, Chi Yu's body or this stone. Jiren looked at his calloused fist and said, I have discovered all my potential, but I don't know what the result will be when I face Chi Yu again. Yeah, Hit put away his knife, then turned to Champa and Bados and said, let's go, I can't wait to try this attack on Chi Yu. Although it is not as big and rough as Chi Yu's fist, it is like an indestructible blade that can easily tear everything apart. Needless to say, the current Hit has far surpassed his current gods of destruction. In the past fights, Chi Yu has never exerted his full strength, so many things cannot be judged. He is like the starry sky in front of him, always maintaining a deep sense of mystery. Advertisement. Have I really surpassed him? Jiren looked up at the stars in the sky, full of hope. Champa, with a wide mouth, gaped at Hit's attack. Beerus looked at the dazzling sunlight and said, "The day is finally here." Hit did not answer Champa. In the next second, his body suddenly appeared in front of Xingxingxi, and then he sent a shocking blow to Black's stone wall. There was no turbulent energy flow, nor exaggerated loud noises. Hit's hand pierced directly like a knife cutting tofu. These bloodstains all flowed from Hit's fist. Counting it now, it has been almost 2 years since such a boring day. During the period, he himself couldn't remember how many times his fingers were broken, and now he looked at the black star stone. Besides the cracks, there were bloodstains on it. The 2 years were coming to an end, and Jiren walked out of the training room at last, and then changed into the proud team clothes again. No one knows where it came from, but it's literally the hardest thing Champa has ever known, infinitely stronger than even the kind used to build the Tournament of Power ring. Champa said. Hit, what are you doing? The whole world seemed to be banned at that moment, and then, destructive energy burst out from Hit's hands. A muffled sound came from the inside of the star stone, and the so-called indestructible stone was instantly shattered into pieces. At this time, Champa is no longer so obese, and his long-term practice has made his body look much more well-proportioned. Champa looked up at Star Stone, and then sighed. Hit. This time, I will tear up your mystery. Pipe pipe exclamation mark quote. Advertisement. Jiren said abruptly. Less than 2 years have passed in the outside world, but for them, it has indeed been an extremely long time. 1 day in the room is equal to 1 month, and 2 years is almost 60 years, which is really scary when I think about it. Dispo said. I believe you are already stronger than him. I didn't expect that you have really cultivated to the point where you can damage the star stone. Quote. Fortunately, Saiyan has a long life, and number 17 and 18 are artificial humans who will not age at all. As for Frieza, God knows if the demons will age. Anyway, after so many years, his appearance still hasn't changed. At the same time, 8 figures walked out of the 7th universe, the room of time and spirit, and they were Beerus and others who had completed their training. Dispo sighed. Jiren, I can't feel your anger at all. Champa once made a bet that even if the entire universe were destroyed, there would probably not be a single scratch on this stone. But today, the stone is already full of cracks. Ba Nuo Lee's Das waved his magic wand, and the 3 of them turned into a colorful streamer, completely disappearing on this desert planet. Champa kept waving his hands and said, Impossible, impossible. There must be no harder substance in this world than the star rock. As I said, this is something that flew from other worlds and does not belong to any universe. Anything on it is harder. These days, Dispo is also working hard to maintain this training, but compared to him, Jiren's progress is obviously much greater. Hit slowly bent down, then stretched out a knife in his hand, aimed at the star stone in front of him, and assumed an attacking posture. Advertisement.